Hello, my name is Scott for SB Gaming, and welcome back to Transport Fever, Train Fever Industrialist. And in the opening episode, we set up an oil line between the oil well down here. We put the icons back on. Oil well down here, all the way up to this refinery. Brought it back, and I went off and did a little bit of stuff off screen. In addition, we had also set up a passenger station from here. Because we want to grow these towns, because we're going to need to, because of course 26 demand for product. This is not going to help matters any, because reasons. We do not have a lot of demand, and that will limit, of course, the refineries and oil wells and all the products in general. Although with that said, if we could ramp this up very quickly, get 100%, then we just need to find a way to get machines as well as construction materials, although that's going to be a few chains. Then we can get the industry provider achievement pretty quickly. Then we just need to work on these. The only problem is that's not likely going to happen. Anyway, I did spend a little bit of money off screen. We're up to $15.5 million in loans of a potential $50 million. Once you hit 1900, it is now a $50 million cap. And then of course I think it's a $100,000 cap. Or wait a minute, it might only be 30 million. Okay, well, we are halfway to our maximum loan, and we haven't even really made any money. No, we have had zero income in this last year, or 9 months. We start the year in April, but we do have oil sitting here, and I did set up signals for our trains. So we have those signals, although I did not get those signals done as well. Yeah. Anyway, I did connect this up to here, and I connected up this over to here. So that is running, or able to run. We don't have the vehicles on the line yet. And I figured out exactly what I want to do with this chemical plant. Basically, we can take oil from here up to there, and then stop in Minchinhapton, and then stop along the way here with, of course, a curved station. We can then do a short trek back to here. So we will not have to run a separate line just to supply the chemical factory. So far, our line is just running to here. So we are not going there quite yet, but we will, and we can, once, of course, we get goods up and running. Or not goods, because we're not supplying plastics to goods. We are supplying the plastics over to the machine factories over there. With that in mind, I was looking at potential farm lines, and it was really difficult because, of course, the terrain, and this is where a lot of my debt has been sunk. So this is basically a freaking hill. We have this farm here in a freaking valley. Now I could have gone off in that direction. Maybe like that, and then maybe across like that and like that. But no, I decided to go through here, and I had to do some terrain works to dig this out. It was terrain alignment collisioning when I tried to put the station in, so I had to lay down some road and some other stuff to try to get a flat area for it to build. But I got it relatively cheaply, and I got this line running down this way. I ended it about here because then I looked at this and I'm like, oh god, there's another hill. Seriously. We have this like volcano crater of sorts that has a food processing plant in it. Who decided to build here? Seriously, especially where there's no roads. So as much as I would like to get that line set up, it's not going to necessarily be likely. Anyway, I did do some work here in Melton, and I slammed this station right in here, right in through the middle of town. And so I destroyed this road, took out some buildings, destroyed this road, took out some buildings, and yeah, they're not going to be connecting. I did connect this up, hoping that I could be able to connect this up, or maybe the town would do it itself. Unfortunately, I cannot bring this back. I wanted to bring this across, but Yeah, this is just too close. So, about that. If I wanted to spend about $150,000, I could probably. But no, we spent enough already. We haven't made a single dime. So, I'm going to have to rethink about this. But we will be able to supply Melton. The initial idea was livestock and then bring food back to here and then have the trains run off empty and then have another line running from here out to Waltham and out to Heywood to supply food to, of course, ramp that up. Possibly sending off to Broughton for food. That will kick up the demand on those as well. That has 47. That has 52. This is down to actually it's a 67. And we got Heywood here, 48. That would be nice if we could get that demand up. Of course, with that said, we do need passenger travel. Yeah, about this. So, what we might as well do is just work on our oil line because for now, I know this is supposed to be a flat nap. Did I not set it too flat? Because I don't see much flat land. I wanted a nice flat land. I wanted something like this all the way across the map. Because it's hard to freaking build. Yeah, alright. I am going to want to think about a Calne, Broughton. No. Another thing I did was I extended this and I decided to bring this up here. I was planning to bring this across and go around like that, but then I'm like, nah, I don't really want to cross the tracks. And this actually works a little bit better. It makes it a little bit more straight. We go around the farm on this side, but we have to go up a hill. So I might as well work on this next, although with that said, no, we're going to put in signals. I'll be back in just a moment. Alright, so I've added signals to that line, and as you can see, I made this a one-way signal, of course, to force the traffic to come back this way, to ensure it always double tracks. I did that outside this station as well, so traffic cannot come back this way, and it cannot go that way. Same thing over here, it cannot go back that way, and it cannot go back that way. So that is where I will primarily be using double signals. I might as well do these ones as well, just because it makes things a lot simpler. I will not be putting one-way signals all across the map, just because, if I can click on it, just because that would just be too much work and it's not necessary. As long as you have one-way signals in certain places, in this case around stations, the lines should never flip around like they used to. They should always go this way because this is the only possible valid path that a line actually has. For now, we are going to want to have this set off, and it sets off, and it's going to go on that track. We are going to speed up to speed 3. We will probably be powering through the episodes, and most likely we will get to the 19 whatevers in fairly quick succession, 2000s-ish. Alright, this is not producing because it has not received anything. This is at 100 production. We have 40 stored. And we have 14 waiting here. Let's buy trains. We're going to go with another Mogul. We have not enough money. That is fine. We are going to have to borrow. And we want 2 of these. And Minchinhampton oil. And we have production over at the oil refinery. Now our train is going back the other direction. We have 7 units of oil. We have 14 on that train. And we are going to buy trains. We're going to borrow another. And buy, we want... No, not... Wait a minute. I didn't buy... Mogul. 2 tank cars. And we want to set this to... Minchinhampton Oil and Fuel. Let's make sure we have the Mogul. Alright. We want to keep this producing as much as possible. It has 83 potential. This has only 29 potential for fuel. What is the town saying right now? Yeah, only 29. And you're taking back 7 fuel. You made 541k on your first delivery. Nice. So we are making some decent chunk of money. We're just going to want that, let that run, although we are going to want to think about hauling out to other locations. Now, unfortunately, I do not have the ability to upgrade these platforms, so this is going to be interesting. Yeah, we're going to have trains basically queuing if we want to use this platform. Of course, with that said, we can always run a second, larger one right about here and have that connect on, so it will transfer over if it so chooses. Although that's expensive. Yeah, because of the train. So about that. And you, well, you made a profit, quite a bit of profit. Of course, with that said, we are running on easy difficulty, which means full income on our lines. If we take a look at this, our ticket price is $2.93 per kilometer. So, yeah, about that. I figured this would be difficult enough as it is. Let's repay, since, yeah, end of the year. We have $17 million in loans, and we have the A35 and the 442 Atlantic. It is 1902. The 1900s box car comes out. Let's take a look at where's the depot. Where's the depot? The depot's right over here. So we have the A35, 2.47 million, ouch, 1,000 power. Oh, wow. Tractive effort of 120. Wow. You know, if we need a freight train, we might be going with the PLMs. Although for now, we do not need much of anything. Maybe for the top speed. This is a 100-kilometer-hour train, and this is a 100-kilometer-hour train, which of course means it will ramp up the income on the lines. So it might be tempting. Although with that said, we do got a lot of oil here. Let's buy trains. We're going to put another Mogul on the line. And we are going to bump up the capacity as well. 1, 2, 3. And we're going to put another one on the line. We have a 3-minute frequency. We have a $1.58 million. And that leaves. This one has to slow down. That's fine. I could send it back to the depot and put some additional wagons on it. But for now, we are just going to go with Mogul. Let's Borrow another 2 million. Mogul. And 1, 2, 3. We're going to set it line. And over here, we're seeing 52 potential. We supplied 41%. Although what it does look like is we are getting some additional industrial. And for anyone who is curious, yep, people will cross over using the freight station. They cross over right there. Alright, so we have 17 units sitting here. We are going to want to be concerned, although with that said, it looks like, wow, this is upgraded. It's showing 95 potential, but we are 56% supplied. We have 12 units sitting there. Let's see, this has 22 of 39, which is 56%. This is dropping off 7. It did not even affect this. All right about that. Now, do we think about construction materials? Not really. We got the fuel. Got lots of fuel. We have 948K in the bank. Let's repay that. We have $20 million in loan. Yeah, we might want to hold off. Although that said, I want to run this passenger line. Let's just extend that like that. We are going to run a depot off here. Buy trains. Now, what do we run on this line? If we're making 293 on the freight line, which is actually closer to 6K per unit per kilometer. Okay, the PLM 220. Yeah, this has more tractive effort. Running costs are lower. I don't think I want to go with the Atlantic quite yet. What do we have for passenger wagons? So the D130 is a 40 kilometer an hour. We have the Bavarian car, which is 50 kilometers an hour. And I'm almost thinking we want something that's at least 75 kilometers an hour, especially for this stretch here. I don't really want a quad track, although I might have to eventually. Actually, I definitely will have to eventually once the freight and passengers get going. We don't exactly want the traffic to necessarily... So we are looking at the Clerestory, which is 80 kilometer an hour top speed. The compartment car, 60 kilometers an hour. No. 3-axle is 100 kilometers an hour. 553 versus 789. This has 110 kilometer an hour top speed. 18 capacity versus 14 capacity. Huh. This 14 capacity, although it is 272K. Wow. Yeah, this is 100K versus 50K kilometers per hour. That is a 100 kilometer an hour. Might be going with the Clerestories, because the difference between 60 kilometers an hour and up to 100 kilometers an hour. Yeah, this is probably going to be the sweet spot for us for now until we upgrade to Atlantics or faster. So for trains, we want something roughly around 80 kilometers an hour if we can handle it. 60 kilometers an hour, 75. You know what? I think the sweet spot without spending too much is going to be the Mogul. 75km/h top speed, which balances well with the Clerestory. We do not have not enough money. We are going to borrow a couple million, and we are going to run. Let's go one for now. We can always do an automatic upgrade. Heywood to Minchinhapton. We are going to repay and let that run. And here comes our passenger train. And it is not even stopping here. So what I would like to do, we're gonna send it back here. Although it's gonna probably take some time for people to start showing up. And do we have anyone on? No, we don't. We have no one waiting. And if we put the numbers on, 229K. We are up to $1.25 million, so let's repay some money. Yep. And we have trains queuing up. That's carrying 7 units. This has a potential 59. We have a supply of 60%. We're up to 40 units of demand. And there is our Clerestory. All right. 637K. We are going to pay another $500,000 off, and yet the money definitely rolls in on easy difficulty. Yep. I'm making it hard enough on myself as it is. I thought this map would have generated as a flat map, and apparently not. So yeah, about that. And it is 1903. No new vehicles. And so we had a loss of $6.85 million we spent in 1900. We made no income. In 1901, we made $2.28 million of rail income. Nice. We had running costs of $774K, but of course we had $8.34 million in construction costs. That is $5.5 million in tracks. We had railroad, $1.39 million in stations and signals. We had $1.39 million in bulldozer costs. We had $3 million in new vehicles, $2 million the year before, $5 million in new vehicles the year before that. We had an income of $3.82 million. Let's let things roll. And there is our Clerestory. Let's just ride along with this. I'm going to want to fix that. But I suspect a lot of the lines are going to get overhauled. Once I have a lot of money flowing in and I have money to actually spend on making things look nice, then I will be making things look nice. And we begin the hill climb. Up to Heywood. The Mogul struggling to get 254. We have a small tunnel. And we come right into Heywood. And we have, looks like, one person waiting. All right about that. Well, they'll make one person's worth of income on that way back. So your line is probably also going to be making, yeah, 293. Cargo is doubled. We just want that line running so that we can, of course, generate interest and increased demand for product. We're up to 70% covered, so... We've made $1 million in rail income. It is May, so income could be a little bit flat. Nice. Yeah, for now, this kind of setup should be fine. The trains are slow enough that I don't think they'll jam up with one another. Once you get longer trains, once you have more junctions and more connections, it can create some problems. We have 2 people sitting here, and yeah, I didn't want to put more than I needed. 4 people. Nice. All right, now what I would like to do, we have 497k in the bank. Let's think about extending this up to Broughton. And then I'm going to probably think about that farm line. All right, so I want to kind of bring it across that way. Let's try not to dig so much of the ground. Oh. Yeah, about that. Sometimes it can be hard to see the contour lines with the trees. And we are like that. Now, to come here into Broughton, we are going to want to run a line over to Melton and then Waltham. Maybe one from Broughton to Calne. So we are probably going to be thinking about passenger freight terminal, or not freight terminal, terminal. We have good coverage here. If I were to run it in through like that, another option we have is if we Second Street connection, we could like bring it back this way. We'll need 3 tracks or platforms. This only costs 700 only. Let's just get rid of that for now. $537. You know what? I just might. Now, with that said, that could also be a good freight we bring freight into there. Here's a question. I know people are going to be telling me I should just use a passenger station to drop off cargo. I would like to avoid that because reasons. But considering the settings I have for this map, I'm actually not really beyond using exploits. And yes, it is an exploit. Try not to pretend otherwise, but it is an exploit. It was never meant to be in the game, but the developers bowed to the pressure of people who wanted it. So yeah, about that. Yeah, we're gonna set up here. Actually, this is not as expensive as I thought it might be. So we're gonna put that there. And now we are going to connect up this over to there. And I would like to get this right in here, although... Sure. We're gonna do that. So that provides lots of coverage. Just take that out. Yep. So we are going to want to run it up to that way. Connect onto this line. And so we are running into here. That is the right side. And we have $20 million in loan debt. I really should check my settings. I don't think I'm playing on a flat map. Yeah, we'll build that now. Let's just try to keep it up to 120, although with that said, in about 20-ish years, we will be getting the high-speed rail, so about that. We're going to run this to about there, and we are going to bring this into... I might bring two lines out that way, but this setup here. Ideally, I'd want this over on this side so I can bring the two in like that with a crossover and then just run this one out like that. But that does not appear to be what's going to happen. So we are going to see if we can maintain $120 at a minimum. And we are going to sure, that's fine. Oh, wait a minute. That's going to come in on the right. Like that. Although... Can I get this over? I can. Although it does look a little bit wonky, that is fine. And this is over on the left, the other side. $160K to connect that up. Yep, let's borrow that. And now we have another extension. And let's just double track this. Might as well spend the money. Let's let time tick, although then we go into debt. All right about that. How much is it going to cost to double track? Speed it up. And do we have anyone waiting here? Oh, we have 623K in the bank. Nice. Some of our oil obviously dropped off. Like that. Now we are going to want to eventually signal that up, although I will do it off screen. Now here's the question. Do I want to run a Heywood to Minchinhampton over to Broughton, or do I want to run a separate Broughton to Minchinhampton line? I am thinking, for now, we are just going to check the passenger numbers. 9 people sitting there. We have 2 people sitting there. Let's run... Do I run 2 separate lines or a... Currently, what is our frequency? 10-minute frequency. We've made $2.66 million on this, so if we were to just leave things as is, we could pay off our loan in about 10 years-ish, give or take. We are going to buy another Mogul. Hey, bank manager, give me a couple million. We are going to run another Clerestory or Clerestory. We're going to borrow another, and there we go. We're going to put this on the Heywood Minchinhampton line, and we want to extend the Minchinhampton line out to Heywood, or no, Broughton, and then back over here to Minchinhampton. And it is run over to Heywood right now. We are going to flip it around. And apparently those 3 want to go to Broughton instead. Alright about that. If that's what you want to do, that's what you are going to do. We have a frequency now of 11 minutes. Frequency of 142 seconds on that line. have 10 people sitting there. It is January 1904. So we made $3.22 million last year. That's a little bit of a disappointment. Running costs of $1.73 million, so about $1.5 million of overall profit. 14 units. And we are going to repay a couple million. And Minchinhampton is up to 62% coverage. If we can maintain things as they currently are, then we are going to be good for coverage, although 81% now. Our line that's making us a lot of money, which has a lot of stuff sitting here. I kind of don't want to ramp up the frequency. Or not the frequency, the capacity quite yet. Because we are kind of keeping things balanced. And it doesn't really matter if there is stuff sitting here. Since we cannot really supply more than 44 demands worth, this thing is not going to, ramp up too much. But if we were to supply Broughton, you know what, I kind of want to take another crack at, for now we'll just repay that. If we can just repay down our loans while we are thinking about what we want to do next, that would be ideal. Although with that said, at this point I might just wrap things up here. This is the second episode of the Train Fever Industrialist series, or rather mini-series. We're doing quite well profitability wise. We're down to $20 million in loan. Of course, we are playing on easy, and we're all the way up to $3.67 million in rail income this year, and it's only August. So whatever we've done has really ramped things up. And we are going to see a lot of interest in traveling. Nice. You, Train 7... you have not been making overall total profit. You did make, or you are making profit for this year, but that, about that. Let me know what you think my next move should be. By the time you watch this, I will probably have already figured out exactly what I want to accomplish. Let's just leave that on for now. I would like to try to connect up the other oil. I kind of want to connect up the food. I kind of want to do construction materials, but that means getting into steel. If I get into goods or machines, I'm going to want to get into steel as well. If we just do some theoretical considerations, we have this over here, this over here. If we bring slag this way, and we can bring construction materials this way, and then steel going over to here or over there. Although this steel here. Steel going this way, machine or construction material going that way. Steel going... Alright, so this steel either needs to go here, 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 or here. This steel down here needs to go there, 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 or there. I kind of want to take the steel that's over here, if I can. The most convenient would be to run a quick line like this. Or I'm thinking if we run steel here to here, then we could run steel from here into here. Any excess steel that's not required for here can get transported up to there. And then theoretically, I could then run my train over to here, pick up construction materials, bring them back this way, run empty to here, steel, and then bring steel over here. Kind of do a kind of figure 8. That would be an ideal setup that I definitely think of doing. We'd have to probably set up here. We could utilize this bridge I built. Going up to Waltham. That could actually work out quite well. So we have a source of potential steel and construction materials delivery. Construction materials up this way, going back empty this way, steel, steel, going back empty. At least that is optimally how I figure this will run. And then it's just a matter of getting the plastics from here over to here, as well as here. Maybe a boxcar run coming from here to here, up into Melton, maybe into here, or boxcar to here, from here to here, maybe bringing food back through Waltham, and maybe even running up to Heywood. That's a possible option. So run food this way, dropping off here, picking up plastics to bring over to here. Then I would just need to bring the plastics down to here. Or if I were to do that down to here. And then I could run plastics up this way. Possibly food getting picked up here could continue on to be dropped off in Melton and then up to here. That is a possibility. Anyway, at this point in time, I'm going to take a break here, and we will continue off with another episode of Transport Fever, Train Fever Industrialist. Thank you for watching. My name is Scott Frisbee Gaming. And as always, have a good day.